Here we go. I forgot. I started my video and didn't have my sound on. All right, so I think that should be a good place for sound. I was just talking about, I'm just gonna hold it. I saw something yesterday in a video from this woman that I think is so awesome. And everything she says, it resonates. She has a lot of data and she puts that data into this whole conversation, spiritual awakening, healing ourselves, changing the world, that kind of stuff. Awesome stuff. And then she said something about finding ways to calm our nervous system. And I agree. We do that a lot, and you don't need anything. You can want and you can choose, you know what I'm saying. But it's definitely something that's used when we do this kind of work, because as we increase our sensitivity through healing, because that's what happens. Once you start to heal, you start to increase the capacity to feel, and you'll sense and feel everything more. That's how this works, because our sensitivity is a gift. Our sensitivity is our superpower, because we actually are energetic beings. So we're increasing our capacity to energetically know, and as we do, it can get really overwhelming. We'll need to calm our nervous system all the time. But that was it. Just when I hear stuff, so it could be a word or a sentence, that's how I work. I'll just get this thing, and all this information will just go completely crazy. And I actually, in those moments, just need to pick up my phone and start talking, because I had two of them. I had one last night and then one this early morning, and I already forgot this early morning, but it's going to come back to me. I can feel it. But this one was about finding ways to calm our nervous system, which is basically a very good strategy to kind of survive this whole awakening thing. But as of lately, maybe the past couple of years, but more and more clearly, to me, I'm just realizing more and more that it's all about increasing our nervous system's capacity to handle the vastness of our soul. Now, I have talked about this in several videos because it's just so strong within me. So when she said finding ways to calm our nervous system, that's one way of seeing it, right? It's one way. And I think that's one of my, I don't know, gifts or ways. That's just how I am. One of my things that I'm bringing into awareness, or I'm supposed to say it, is in fact seeing things from all perspectives, or different perspectives, and seeing the flip side, because all these things are kind of like a double-edged sword, and it's kind of it's very easy to be standing here and then flip, and you're actually on the other side of what you thought you were. Let's do an example, Chris. You want to do the right thing, you want to heal, whatever, and so you want to help your child, and you're right here at the edge, and you want to help your child. Maybe they're highly sensitive or whatever, and what you're doing, you wanted to do this, you wanted to tip over and help them heal, but because a lot of times that it's standing on such a fine, I can't find the words, because energy, I can feel it, but I can't always say it. But whatever, you'll tip over and you'll actually be on the other side of it. And it's kind of hard to see sometimes. I'm actually seeing this, okay, I'm seeing a double-edged sword standing, balancing on a fine line, right? You want to slowly slide down on the left side, because over here is healing, it's growth and expansion, and it's healing your ancestral trauma, whatever. But then without actually even knowing it, you slowly slide down on the right side. And it's not like it's completely wrong, but it's the other side, and you're actually not even aware, because it's such a fine line. It's soft and smooth on both sides, like you won't even notice sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times I think that people will be very sensitive to, this is wrong, you're on the wrong side. But I'll kind of see it more like it's a quantum thing. Like it's, I don't know, right and wrong. It's just, that's over there and that's one way, and this is over here and it's another way. And yeah, sometimes we want to be aware because we're supposed to be, or I don't know. So everything I say, I'm catching myself. That's basically it. That's how I function. I catch myself in everything I say the whole time because I'm like, well, there's two sides to it. Maybe we want to be, it's our path is over here, but how do we know? Maybe our path is actually taking this detour, and our path is more of a blueprint, not like a every single thing is planned out to the detail, because that's why we have free will, right? So my point is just, there is a silver lining to all sides, and let's say dark entities pulled us over here to, and it gave us a detour. Well, maybe our soul needed that detour, or our human needed the detour, and it could learn and expand even more because it took the detour. Get what I'm saying? So if we say we need to find ways to calm our nervous system, that is one way of doing it. That is one way of seeing it. Another side is saying we don't really need to find ways to calm our nervous system. We need to teach our nervous system to handle stress, to handle the vastness of expansion. I think it's not stress, but it can be interpreted as stress in the body, you know? So that is actually what I just heard. Was when I heard that, I was like, yeah. And you know, because I've been thinking so much lately. But it's more like seeing. I'm getting to know the way I actually, I guess, channel or see and hear what my quantum self has to offer. And I think I'm actually seeing pictures, and I'll hear a word, but it's a very strange thing because it's mostly a knowing, so it's hard for me to translate. But I basically just, it's like I see-ish the nervous system. I don't know, like a web or something, and it's just simply it's increasing its capacity to handle, and then I don't have the word for that, but it's increasing its capacity is what I'm seeing. We're training our nervous systems to handle. We're training our nervous systems to handle the vastness of our true being. We're not really calming ourselves down the whole time so the nervous system doesn't have to react, so the nervous system doesn't have to feel, because that's basically what humanity has been doing. We've been taught to shut ourselves down, or we've been taught to numb ourselves, you know? So our nervous system actually is not as strong as it can be. So resilient. It's not as resilient as it can be. So that's the whole thing here. That one way of looking at it could be teaching ourselves how to calm our nervous system. But on the flip side, if we simply teach our nervous system to handle the vastness of our quantum selves, which will, for the nervous system, feel incredibly dangerous, it will, in fact, calm down. You get me? So the result will be the same, will be calm. But instead of thinking, I need to calm, I need to calm, I need to breathe, I need to calm down, we'll just be with it. And it's just another way of saying the same thing that myself and all these other teachers are talking about. And there were a bunch of ways to do that. Like, it's just, sometimes it's actually just a matter of putting on a sort of like a routine for oneself, and something that will signal to the brain that this is what I'm doing now. A way of recognizing the routine, sort of, so that we'll practice it. It's easier to practice it, bring up the tool and practice. So one way is, for example, you feel an emotion and you've come to the place where you actually become aware that you are feeling the emotions, because that would be the first stage. You'll put your hand on your heart and say, hello, fear, hello, anxiety, hello, blah, blah, I see you, I love you. You can stay as long as you need, and you can leave when you're ready. I have space for you. I love you anyway. I love you unconditionally. I love me anyway. You know, whatever works. And or breathing techniques or tapping, or this is when all those techniques come into play, because it actually then will allow our bodies to just be with the emotion and allow it to flow through us. We talk to ourselves. We tell ourselves, I'm safe when I feel. It is safe to feel. I've done a lot of those affirmations. It is safe to feel like I love myself, even though with tapping, a lot of that also comes with, even though I feel completely lost, even though I feel completely total fear and anxiety, even though I blah, 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 I completely love and accept myself. So you're telling yourself that I'm okay, even though I feel all this stuff. So in one way, that will calm the nervous system. But on the other hand, after a while of doing those things, you actually just go into a period. You don't have to do this, but I think a lot of us do. At least I think that I've done this, and I'm thinking if I did it, probably a lot of people did. Come into this period where we're just practicing allowing it to just be there without actually doing anything, which is teaching the nervous system how to self-regulate, right? Regardless, like despite or with the emotions, with whatever's coming up, with the fear, with whatever. And one thing is then releasing through our bodies and through our nervous system all the old wounds and old limitations and old beliefs and old trauma from ourselves and our ancestors. I know my eyes are closed this whole time, but sometimes it just helps, okay? And another thing that will probably for the nervous system feel pretty equal. That's the fun part here, just more intense. The other side is actually allowing the vastness. I like the word vastness because I think it puts something in our heads, in understanding of how grand this thing is, of our soul, of our quantum selves, of our higher self, of our true self. So it's our quantum, our higher, our soul, our true selves through our being. It's going to feel the same, but maybe just way more intense, allowing our true full selves, because we're not truly scared of scarcity. We're scared of our power, right? Have you heard this whole Marianne Williamson, or read, there's like a quote Marianne Williamson came with when it comes to we're not really scared. I think it's not even the original. I think she may have quoted someone, I don't remember, but we're not truly scared of we're not afraid of the darkness. We're actually afraid of our light, which is the whole point. So one part is actually diving deep into our darkness, and through our darkness, allowing our darkness come through us for healing, right? And that takes a lot for our nervous system to handle, to allow. And then the other part, next part, would then be actually teaching our nervous system to allow and handle the vastness, because it's uncontrollable. Like you have no control. That's how the nervous system is going to feel. Our nervous system is going to feel like absolutely no control. So it just has to, this is where that comes in. You have to release, you have to let go, you have to surrender. This is when you teach yourself how to surrender and allow and let go and just be, and allow this thing to come through you, even though it feels terrifying to your nervous system. It's like a nauseous feeling sometimes. And I know for myself that I've had this unexplainable, nauseous, weird feeling. Ooh, I just saw something. I've had this weird thing. It hasn't been there for a while, and I just realized why. Because in my quantum healing hypnosis therapy session, but it wasn't QHHT, it was SCCH, but I don't remember the full name, so there's the abbreviation. You can search it up, look it up. I removed the stuff. It was kind of very graphic. And I think that was a huge part of maybe all of it, this nauseating feeling that I couldn't really put my finger on, that was there. But it's not there anymore. But it can actually feel almost nauseating because it's so scary, And yeah. So that's it. And also yesterday, I think for the first time in my life, actually, first time in my life. So also the first time since realizing, I guess, what I'm doing with this whole awakening thing. I actually had the thought, if I can remember it correctly, oh my gosh, I actually don't want to do this. Oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to step into what I now know I'm supposed to step into. It's too much. That thought actually came, which to me signifies that we're about to step into some freaking holy crap shit type of energy. It's whoa. Because that was the immediate reaction in my body. I was just like, I actually just want to live a 3D life. I'm just going to go back and do a 3D life. Like, seriously. I actually had that thought. And it's the first time I've actually had that thought. Because that has never been a question in my mind. And it's still not a question about whether or not to keep moving into what I feel like I'm supposed to do. Step into my power, basically. Step into our true selves, our power, our true selves, our quantum selves. But it was just funny that that came, and to me, that just means that that's because we're right there. We're right about to step fully into it, and it's gonna be freaking what sort of energy. And I guess it was, yeah, when I had like a small moment of just feeling what it involves, I actually just like, no. You know? Which just proves to me, at least for myself, that that's why stepping fully into it requires our nervous system to handle the vastness of this freaking power, right? So yeah. Now I'm gonna see if the energy of whatever was coming through this morning will come back, and if it and when it does, I'll be quick to pull up my phone and just make a short, maybe even just a sound voice memo or something, so that I can make a video about it later on. Okay, I was like, I need to work out. I don't need to do anything. I love building muscle. But like I said, I'm definitely in a place of not working out for a reason. So like I'm still moving into the softness of my divine feminine, because my masculine has been way too active, and it's not only divine masculine, it has also been wounded, you know. It's been overachieving sort of energy. Like, I think a lot of women recognize this. We've had a lot of masculine power. So part of that is actually for my body to just completely fall into, or not surrender, and not act so much like be so physically powerful for a while. And that's the one side of it. And the other side of it is to completely be free from the release of those. Completely is not going to be possible, but as much as possible, not be reliant on the hormone release, these positive hormones, you know, because that, again, it's kind of like calming the nervous system, which it is great. I mean, obviously I've been teaching these things. I believe in those things, because getting through it requires, actually, for a lot of us, techniques to get through to the point of just being, I guess. But just as with that, man, where was I? See, now I could pause and I could play the video again, and you know, I guess it doesn't matter. I guess I was actually finished saying it. I was just not finished in my I think that's one of the reasons I have a lot of words, is because I'm trying to translate the energy into words and to be understood, to be able to translate it so that it's understood, because otherwise it cannot really do anything for us, right? Yeah. All right, I'm gonna stop right there, and thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I'm not working out. Yeah, the other side of it, not working out because I'm not reliant, not supposed to be reliant on my hormone release. That's what I was saying. So again, that is a great thing in many ways, for many, and for a lot of great reasons. It has a great purpose to increase our hormones, our happy hormone release, right? We can learn how to release the different hormones, so we can just do like, oh, actually, I think I'm lacking this hormone. I'm just going to do more of this, right? Great strategy. But again, I'm actually being called to not rely on all of that. So, which is really interesting. I just realized I'm not writing and kind of like achieving, because I have all these diaries that I just love, and it's been an amazing thing for a few months now. I just like bought all these books with stickers and colors and, you know, all that stuff. I just love it. But then all of a sudden I'm like, I couldn't bother, couldn't care less about writing all this stuff, because it releases a lot of dopamine, you know. It's a really good feeling. Working out releases endorphin, and we have the oxytocin from physical touch, and serotonin. I always forget serotonin. But anyway, I'm actually going to look it up afterwards and see if that also is an area where I've kind of stopped doing things that will release more of it, so that I won't rely and lean onto those hormones to be able to feel content. It's more of coming into a place of just being there, regardless of what comes at you. And this is actually what I I remember talking about this like 5 years ago in my videos and in my program, that I saw this egg. You know, when you start your journey, you're like a raw egg. The shell is really hard. You can put the weight of a person on top of it and it won't crack if you put it just right on top, whatever, you know. And when it just looks really hard from the outside, but if you actually get in and you poke it, the insides will just like go and fall out, and it cannot get itself back. Like, it's completely vulnerable, 100%. So it has to keep everything at a distance, at a safe distance, so that it won't risk falling apart, right? But as you boil that egg, as you go inside and you actually harden, not harden in a that way, but you know what I'm saying. You get control of your core. Your core becomes solid, reliable, and you can come in from the side and poke it. Yeah, you'll maybe see a little hole, but the core won't change, right? You pull out that stick or that needle or that knife and it just goes, and it's all good again, right? It heals itself. And you can even peel the shell now, and the egg is still standing. And then I see these red kind of balls being thrown at it, and it just goes ding, 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 ding. These red balls are just like, they just bounce right off. There is nothing you can do to this egg. So there are no circumstances that will kind of put it off balance, you know, make it flip, make it fall apart. It's just not possible, because you've actually gone in and gained full control of your core, whatever you can control, basically. And you're so, you know, every cell of your body, shadow aspect, light, everything in and out so well, like you're just stable. And that's the thing, like once you are at a point where you're not reliant on the release of your hormones, these exercises, all this stuff, you're not relying on it in order to be at peace, sort of, is a good place to be. So I guess I'm being called to practice not using all these strategies, right? And that includes working out, writing my diary, meditating. Yeah, meditation is also a thing that I've just not really done much lately, and And if I do, it's just kind of a, I don't know, I don't feel like anything. I'm just, it's like a blocked off anyway. So sometimes it's just a nice thing to be able to sit a little bit and be quiet. And it's very nice. It's sometimes extremely beautiful, but it's not like a thing that I've been able to make myself find time for the longest time, actually. So that may actually be the serotonin. So there you go. Because we're being called to just be and trust that we are all of this. So it's a grand thing coming. It's a huge thing. Now I have to go to work, and I love you guys. Thank you for watching.